Ask if you would concur, please.
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, we just come to in thanksgiving, Lord. Thank you for this beautiful fall that we've all been a part of this year here at home in West Virginia. I just pray for the individuals in this room and the individuals throughout the courthouse to have peace and kindness, Lord, and they'd be led by your guidance and a safe trip home to their families. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Parker, would you see if there's anybody on Zoom wishing to speak within the public section?
Is there anybody on Zoom that would wish to comment during the public comment period? If so, unmute yourself and identify yourself for the record.
Hey, Willie, you guys know that I'm on a telephone, right?
Yes, Commissioner Watson's joining by telephone today.
And Willie, if we could, if the commission would, when you start your business agenda, if you could move 9 and 10 up, I think those are the only two items that maybe might need input or vote.
All right, we'll make that request. Commissioner Watson's able to attend for a while, but he does have some other appointments. So if there's no one else on Zoom that wish to speak to the commission.
Hi, Willie. I just want to say this is Marissa Rexroad, and I'm here with United Way if for the community development session.
All right, when we get to that, if the commission has any questions, we'll allow you to unmute and make comments.
Thank you.
Anybody else signed up for it?
Joe Folio has signed up to speak to the commission.
Okay.
Morning, Commissioners. On behalf of the citizens of Harrison County, I know I'm late for the party, but what you are doing with the annex is going to indebt this community, this county, my family, my descendants for the next 30 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. The other options were available, and I don't have any financial irresponsibility on why those other items that could have been purchased, leased, whatever, leased to purchase, were really truly addressed. And I think it's a sin, and future generations are going to pay for this error. And as a taxpayer, I paid my taxes yesterday, my property taxes, and I almost vomited in my throat to see where my monies are going. It's a bad time with the pandemic, with the economy the way it is, and to indebtedness for the people of Harrison County. This is absolutely insane. Inane, whatever adjective you want to give it. But that's all I have to say, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe. All right, I know we have a 10 o'clock, but we're going to have to postpone it, and we're going to bring up item 9. Review, discuss, consider award of a bid for Rycon Construction and authorize signature on contract and related documents for the general service annex project. Mrs. Harper?
As the commissioners are aware, and maybe others, the bond sale has proceeded and it has closed. The bonds have been sold. Those funds are available now for the project. And this is the contract that was in the project manual, and it's ready for the president's signature. But this would award, this will, as far as I know, would be the last step in getting the project awarded. Then we'll work with the engineering firm and issue a notice to proceed for Rycon to start construction.
Ron, do you have anything you wish to say?
No, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, Willie, the amount, is that, I know it's not to exceed, but isn't the construction somewhere around 16?
The total contract amount is, right now, is $15,458,000. That's
Right.
$15,458,000.
Right, which is about 5 or 6 million less than what had been projected early on, right?
Yeah, we were originally projecting anywhere from $18 to $20 million based on our engineering estimate.
Right. All right. No, other than that, David, I don't have anything. If you want to put it in form of a motion and then have discussion so that the commission can then discuss it and then vote on it.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I move it.
Okay, second it with, we have a motion on the floor for discussion on, awarding the bid to Rycon for the general service annex. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Ron, any further discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
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 No.
All those opposed? We have 2 ayes, 1 no, motion carries.
I'll get the paperwork to the contractor and engineering firm.
Next item is item 10, review, discuss, consider possible purchase of 609 West Main Street property. Mr. Parker, if you could bring us up to speed on where we are with that.
As the commissioners were aware, last week, this topic was on the agenda, and the asking price at that time was $295,000. Ms. Sell and I did make contact with the real estate agent, and the final agreed upon price, tentative to the commission's approval, was $265,000. And we have the real estate purchase agreement that I forwarded the other day to the commissioners for signature, and working with MVB Bank to bundle this in conjunction with some other possible loans, if it's agreeable with the commission, to purchase this through the Development Authority, then lease back agreement to the county commission over a 6-year period.
Thank you. I make a motion to purchase the property at 609 West Main Street for the price negotiated.
Discussion. What loans are we working to combine that with?
There's 2 parcels that are working with the Benham Airport Authority. It'll be 2 separate packages, but MVB Bank, we're working with MVB Bank to look at those parcels also. So those are separate. Those are not finalized yet on appraisals. They're looking at appraisals right now.
Did we buy property?
No, we haven't purchased anything yet. It'll come back to the commission for approval, but it's what the commission had previously discussed as a potential purchase.
So we're talking about a bank about a piece of property that we don't even own yet.
Correct. We're looking at a loan, if we purchase that, to get that in place if the commission desires to proceed. The approvals are already in place, yes.
Are we looking at any other loans for any other things that we haven't voted on?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well, let me ask you, David, Ron, right now, rather than add to the debt, we are well ahead at the regional jail fee right now at about $65,000 a clip. I think probably because of the COVID. Could we not just move that line item, move $265,000 from that line item, keep from borrowing more money or taking any money out of the bank? We could pay for it cash with a line item that would still keep it in check.
The commission can proceed that way if they desire.
I know I'm not gonna argue with Kathy, and I can't really get into some things until, we might have a big expense coming up that we might have to make a decision on. So if you have it on hand, we can figure that out. I can talk.
Hey, guys, we're talking about a loan and not a outright buyout from general fund money. Is that correct, Willie?
That's how I've got it proposed right now, yes.
Right. This way, we're not really taking any more from the general fund, lump sum like that. It would be payment plan, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Ron, it's not the lump sum, it's an agenda, it's a line item that we have budgeted $192,000 a month for, that we're on average of $65,000 a month less right now going to the regional jail. We're on pace right now at the end of the year to have another $520,000 if things hold steady during the COVID, that we're not transporting people to regional jail. We could potentially later pay cash for the roof without going into the rainy day fund or going one more penny in debt.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, once this is over with, you know, will we see more arrests? Will we have the additional costs? I think that's the reason why we budgeted, what, $2 million or a little more than $2 million for regional jail fees?
Yes.
Can
No.
I make a suggestion that as far as the financing goes, that we, put this off to the next meeting so I can set up executive session to go over some things that we do?
We need to, I'm sorry to cut in, but the purchase agreement, they've held that until tomorrow. They've agreed to hold that until tomorrow. If the commission so desires, you could enter into a loan type arrangement and then pay that off at any time if you have available funds.
So a separate loan from the.
It's separate.
We're working on now that nobody has voted on to.
Yes, it's completely separate.
I'm confused why you're even working on a loan that nobody's voted on a purchase of anything.
It's a potential purchase, and we don't have any cost right now. We're just working with, sort of like if I'm looking at purchasing a house, I'm getting pre-approved for a loan through a bank, and I haven't went out and looked at that property yet.
So as county administrator, don't you do that after there's a majority vote?
We talked about purchasing property at the airport, and
There's been no vote.
there has been no vote, but as I understood, my direction was to arrange for potential financing.
Who told you to do that?
The commission.
I don't remember that. I don't remember purchase of property at the airport ever coming up on the agenda.
It's been on the agenda several times, and we've talked about the price.
We've talked about buying property at the airport on the agenda, and we've not voted on it.
No, it's not been approved yet, no.
Okay.
But as I understood my direction, it was if we want to move forward, Mr. Parker, go ahead and arrange potential financing, so that step is done, and because we've been working on it now for a month or month and a half.
Well, I'll make motion to buy the property as long as we're not going any further in debt, county commission, and as long as we're not taking any money out of our savings to buy it, which we, within reason right now, should the budgeted amount that was approved for the regional jail be on track, we right now would be spending $191,000 a month, $192,000 a month. And right now, we are on pace, right now, pay $65,000 per month less, which would cover the cost of the purchase of the building and would essentially affect our budget none, based on what was approved
Yeah,
at budget time.
the commission can, working with the development authority, enter into this agreement, and then, based on the other discussions that on other potential purchase, if that proceeds, then fine. If not, then you could pay off the loan immediately.
And then, go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Willie, guys, I think what I'm understanding, Patsy, is if you take $2 million and you divide that by 12, then that would be what would be projected as regional jail fees per month. And since we are somewhere less than that, all that additional is a savings in that line item. And if you add them all up together, what Patsy, I think, is saying is we could buy this property outright, and it would be county commission property, and you wouldn't even have to go through the development authority. Is that what you're saying, Patsy?
We can absolutely do that, Ron, and then because of no fairs and festivals, we can then lateral move $80,000
Right.
for the renovation report from the,
Right.
from item, 026 for the lottery.
Right, and then if there was a cost addition in our regional jail line item, then I mean, you know, that's going to have to come from somewhere. So I think what I understand Patsy is saying is we could buy this outright using those monies and not have to go through a loan or through the development authority.
And then cap at the renovation at $80,000 from the lottery line, not to
Right.
exceed.
Yeah.
Okay. I will not support this, and the only reason is that, again, I cannot say today, but I cannot support spending money that I think we're gonna need within the next 2 or 3 months for something else. And all I'm
Yeah.
asking, postpone transferring any money out. If, building commission has the cash on hand, but, until we can go into an executive session, I think you know what I'm talking about, Ron.
Yeah.
I had to talk to Patsy, but we're gonna have to make a move fairly fast, and it's gonna involve county.
Well, let me ask, was there a motion to proceed on purchasing this property?
Using the regional jail money and the lottery money, yes, sir.
As I understand the motion, and Commissioner Treecost can correct me, is to purchase the property without a loan and move forward purchasing through the county commission without the development authority and without the loan. As I understand Commissioner Hinkle, there may be a need in the next 2 or 3 months based on ongoing project for a large expenditure, and he would like to keep the cash in reserve, proceed with the loan package, and then if that is not needed, then you could pay off the loan immediately and not have any additional expense.
Well, how do we preserve the amount for the 609 West Main, and without it going back to the realtor for whatever?
It
The
would be,
addition. Go ahead.
yeah, based on what I know, it'd be my recommendation, to proceed with the purchasing through the development authority, working with MVB Bank to have a loan in place, if it's needed. And then if it's not needed, you could, purchase it outright with general county funds, but if the loan is in place, the purchase agreement's in place, then you could exercise that loan agreement and proceed with both projects at that point. But that way, you know, you could still meet the deadline we have for the property. You could still preserve the right to pay off the property immediately or within the next, 2 to 3 months, and then proceed as needed.
And these-
Yeah.
the motion was before mine, so it'll be voted on first.
Yeah, we did have a motion on the floor. You're right, Mr. Treecost. I forgot that. There is a motion on the floor
Two
from,
motions, Ron, but
Yeah.
David's was first, so it'll be voted on first.
yeah, there is a motion on the floor from Commissioner Hinkle to move forward, as I understand it, to move forward as I've outlined, purchasing through the Development Authority with the loan that I've outlined. And then if it's not needed, the loan could be paid off immediately. And if the loan is needed, then it's already in place and taken care of. So
right.
that's the motion that's on the floor right now. You are correct.
We're in the discussion phase.
Yes.
So it's been seconded. I'm assuming that it's really, well, my other question is, we're sure that we want to buy the building, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Did it, what,
Sheriff,
let me hear Patsy. Are we sure we want to buy the building?
I want to buy the building without any debt, Ron, yes.
Okay, okay. So the motion that's on the floor gives a lot of flexibility, Patsy, to do what you want to do?
Motion on the floor right now is David to go ahead and let Willie proceed with funding the loan, and the loan right now tied in with other opportunities we have with purchase of property.
Okay. Now, that would still have to come back to the county, to the commission for approval.
we would exercise, if the commission approved this today, we would exercise the purchase agreement and move forward, and then,
Bring the
As-
financial end of it back to the commission for our
Yeah,
options.
yeah, based, after, the other projects or other
Right.
item is, but yes, this just authorizes the execution of the purchase agreement, the intent to purchase the property,
And,
and the purchase agreement says we will close by the end of the calendar year, so we have
Right.
a few months to close, but we do have a deadline of exercising or signing this purchase agreement.
okay. So that still gives us to the end of the year to determine how to, the financial plans of how to buy the building.
Correct.
But today, we're voting on by looking to borrow money, Ron. This is the first agenda item. The second agenda item is.
I thought that's just one option, Patsy.
Well, what would happen is,
Floor from David was to go ahead and pursue buying the building, financing it through, because of the options Willie's looking for at the bank right now, presently.
I'm working with the bank, but anything they would bring back, of course, would
Right.
require commission approval. And, but this authorizes the signing of the real estate purchase agreement, of working through the Development Authority. If that's not needed by the end of December, that's an easy enough fix of just, changing the, buyer's name to the commission by themselves and issuing the check. So, and we have until the end of the calendar year to get that accomplished. So that preserves both options, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what the way that I understand it too. So Patsy, that gives you what you're looking for also, gives us the assurance of the building at a good price and still having a couple of options available to the commission, to approve prior to the end of the year, where you can use, the general fund money or out of the line items, from those areas and, buy the building outright, and the commission then becomes the sole owner and doesn't have to go through the Development Authority. If it's a loan, it has to go through the Development Authority. Is that it, Willie?
Yes, I think Commissioner Hinkle has another item.
I was just gonna amend the motion that purchase the building, finance to be determined before date of closing.
That sounds okay. I think it meets what Patsy's looking for too.
Yeah, that would,
Simple, we can make.
that would authorize the purchase agreement, to be executed by the president, and then closing on or before the end of the calendar year with financing arrangements to be determined. Because the bank, when in discussion with them, I've sent them the initial appraisal we had. All they're gonna be looking at, is there's no cost in getting them to look at a potential
Right.
loan if the commission ends up going that way.
Right. All right, I call the question.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
What did Patsy do?
I voted no, Ron, because I wanted it to be for immediately.
All right, I mean, if I vote no, then the building's lost at that rate.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So, in order to preserve that, knowing that that Patsy can certainly have the option of how we buy the building is still on the table, and that doesn't the motion to approve does not reaffirm any financial plan, correct?
That's correct.
All right. All right, my vote's yay.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Ron.
I think you
All
have
right,
a
guys.
10:30.
Yep, I've got 4 minutes, so I'll check you guys later. All right. Bye.
We're gonna move back to 10 o'clock.
We have Mr. Riffle, with Healthy Harrison here to speak to us.
Good morning, you can come up and sit.
Good morning. I'm not with Healthy Harrison. I'm coming on here on behalf of them, but I'm a member. Actually, I'm sorry. Healthy Harrison is putting on something called the Health Games. If anybody's heard of that, and Healthy Harrison is a nonprofit, but they're putting on something that's involving 5 different teams in the community. There's Shinston, downtown Carlsberg, Northview, Bridgeport, and Nutter Fort. And tomorrow is the last day. We've been working on this for months, and I'm on the downtown team. And one thing I want to say is everybody has put together some amazing ideas that can really have big impact on our county. Tomorrow they only choose one team, but I'm scared. I worry that all the great ideas that the other teams came up with will be lost tomorrow because they won't if they don't win. So I implore everybody to go to healthyharrison.org, check out all the other great ideas the other teams have, and consider maybe trying to enact some of those and put them going on in the county, because there's some amazing ideas. Obviously, I think my team came up with the best ideas, but but there's some amazing ideas that I think will really have an impact on our county, and it will really go a long way. So I just, I don't have much to say besides that, but, if you're ready to go to healthyharrison.org and check out all the presentations, the other teams.
It's very exciting.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next item is, consent agenda. The only thing there is, I haven't had a chance to look over any of the invoices, so we either have to go into recess or pull those invoices so that I can look at them for the approval at the next meeting. So with that, looking for approval of consent agenda.
Motion approved.
Aye. Motion carries. Payroll change in notices.
We have none.
Item number 4, exoneration, attractive tickets.
We have 2.
Motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consolidations of land and segregation of land.
We have none.
Item 6, consideration approval of project fund request.
We have none of those.
We're going along here good. Item 7, review and discuss and consider parks and recs playground equipment, locations, and grant opportunities. Mr. Parker.
I know we have Ms. Jones here. May need to have Mr. Hayes allow Mr. Comer and some others to unmute themselves down at security. Down at tab, security down tab. Unmute themselves. There you go. Doug, do you have anybody else that needs to unmute themselves, Doug, for this topic? Mr. Comer, are you with us? Or can he unmute?
Yeah, you need to look for Mitch Reno with, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. If Mitch Reno is on here, he can unmute himself and join the Hello, Doug, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you
Okay.
fine.
Is Mitch on there? Doug, what's his last name?
It's Reno, Mitch Reno.
Doesn't appear Mr. Reno's on the Zoom.
You've been
He is not
texting.
unmuted.
Okay.
You want to take the lead, Mr. Comer, and let us know what we're looking at?
Are you there?
Yes, Doug, can you hear us?
Good morning, everybody. I'm great. I am available, yes.
Can you outline the project?
Sure, we were approached by Ms. Sell, back in February, March, that Mr. Hinkle had a project in play about possibly putting a new playground into an area yet to be determined. With that in hand, we asked about property, the amount that they were looking for, and then we would get the ball rolling for them from there. A number of $50,000 was put on the table. So we went ahead and got in contact with Cunningham, who's been, pretty much the leader in all of our playground equipment that we've had in the areas, and then our projects here in the past 5 or 6 years. I got an email from Mitch's company about an opportunity for some discounted. So they call it a grant opportunity, but it's more of a, like I said, just buying discounted equipment. So I filled out the information on it. It took me literally 5 minutes. It was about 7, 8 questions. And then I got a phone call within the hour saying that we were approved. And I kind of gave them, again, the parameters that we talked about early back in the year about the dollar amount and what we were trying to do. So he's been working on something to meet all the parameters that Hinkle and Ms. Sell was trying to put together, and put together a program for us. With that being said, he's put together something that with installation and everything for $50,000 worth of equipment taken care of. Did you guys get all that?
Do we have a quote, and do we have any brochures of what equipment we're looking at?
Yeah, there's been some emails sent to Ms. Sell about some of the things that are laid out. I don't know if she has any of that on her she could pass out to you guys. If not, I can forward that information on to you. But all stuff that's on there is going to meet all the ADA requirements. Pretty much every piece of equipment that they make now does have that. It does have things for all abilities, whether it's maybe something you could climb on, or maybe something that you could, that's be with music or whatever the case is. I mean, the big push nowadays is that everybody's looking for side by side, no matter what your ability is. Really the biggest questions we have is, where are we going to put this piece of property? And get that, and if we get the program that meets everybody's expectations, then we could probably get the program rolling into a project for a 2021 opening.
What's your price on this, Mr. Comer? What are we looking at price-wise?
I don't know. I don't know if Mitch ever got picked up on there or not. The last one that I saw was, bear with me here. $3,000 and some change.
What was that number?
That would be the out of pocket for the county. 53,000 and some change. I mean, just, I don't have an exact number on it, but,
All right, I would recommend we get an exact number, get an exact project scope, exact description, come back with recommendations of where the recreation department would like to locate this, and bring it back to the commission at a future meeting.
I am completely fine with that.
All right, because there's not enough information to proceed today, in my opinion.
Hey, Doug,
Yeah,
before we let go,
yes,
this quote for, installation of pole and shading on playground, $5,500.
Yeah.
It doesn't, where's that going?
that is, the equipment was purchased over 5 years ago, and it's just laid here sitting. And in the past couple of years, we had a couple of bids put in that were anywhere between 75. The company had put the bid in for this. They actually work alongside with Cunningham, and so they know the equipment better than anybody. We're just trying to get this set up over here as a finish of our project at the new playground addition that we put in
Land and Water Fund. So
Yeah, it's a Land and Water Fund grant that was approved a few years back that we put in.
So that project, is that your facility?
At the recreation complex, yes, sorry.
So this is a quote to put shade up at the playground?
Correct.
The equipment materials are already here.
The equipment has been here, yes.
It's just a matter of installation.
That's all it is.
So so the install $5,500?
Yeah, that's about right, because I mean, they're about to do some caisson work, put footers in, and then let the concrete settle, and then get the poles erect. And then we're not gonna put the shades on until the spring of next year.
And the only people that bid on that were out of St. Albans?
No, the previous bids we had were in Virginia. We're in the Virginia area, and these people are in state. You know, I guess going back to the work on the activity shelter and the cost of that to get all the footers in and whatnot, which is about $25,000. And if Ron was still on the phone, he'd probably still be pulling his hair out about what happened. I feel this is probably the fairest price out of what we found, and it will be a start to finish. And like I said, we'll have to have no work involved on our end.
Okay. Willie, you gotta dive into this, because I'm confused as to me right now.
I think, Patsy, from what they said, a while ago, they bought playground equipment, and that stuff came with what they bought. They never installed. It's been laying in a warehouse. Okay. Sitting around, now they want to install.
But you just said 25,000 worth of concrete.
That was, I think, on the whole that was on the whole playground, right?
yes.
Correct.
That was it. So they never installed this equipment when they installed playground equipment. So we had this equipment, now we're paying for somebody to come in and finish installing what we purchased.
The only concrete for this would be the pole installations.
That covered with the 5,500, Willie?
Reach that playground.
Yeah, you guys have to understand too, the playground was actually installed by our maintenance department before with Mike Bramer when he was still around.
The question is, Mr. Comer, the $5,500 price, does that include the concrete or not, and how much is that?
No, it should be the total. That's the total price from them breaking ground to them leaving property.
Okay, so that includes everything.
Yes, they do all the work.
Okay.
All
And
right,
the materials, labor and materials.
all right. Any other questions on that? We'll bring back the other project as we, clarify the information.
I was gonna say, can you clarify this grant a little more?
Yeah. Like I said, if we could have got Mitch on here, I would, he'd be a little more informative about that. Again, it's not necessarily, they just call it a grant. It's just giving a discount for the piece of the property. But again, it has to be on a dollar match though.
As I see the estimated or quote, the overall total was just at $63,000.
Yeah,
The
62.
discount, as you call it, the discount was just over $31,000 and then some freight. The out-of-pocket cost to the commission is just under $34,000, $33,884.90.
That's what I see.
All right.
Hey Doug, I'm wearing you out, but I'm sorry, did we have Energy Express this summer? Yes?
We did. Yeah, it was
We didn't
done.
have it in locations, it was at home,
It was a virtual.
virtual program,
And we just sent the material to the house?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
we had weekly drop-offs.
Okay, we'll put that off till the next meeting.
We'll bring that back at the next meeting.
Guys,
you, Doug.
is there a deadline on when you want this done, or?
We'll get
I
back
mean,
with you, Doug. We'll get
Okay,
back
sounds
with you,
great.
Doug.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, item 8,
Have it.
review and discuss and consider awards for copiers.
I forwarded last evening, or yesterday, I don't remember when, but I had Ms. Sell and Ms. Jones and Ms. Tonkin look at the bids and working with them. We had 3 bids received, as you gentlemen are aware: Queen City Business Systems from Morgantown, Hard Office Solutions from Clarksburg, MCM Business Systems from Clarksburg, and then we had another bid that came in late, Just Tech Incorporated out of Morgantown. We did not consider their bid since it was late. The Queen City Business had 2 machines proposed, a 50 per minute and 60 per minute machine. The per month cost for the machine for Queen City for the 50 was $188 with the various options. Trying to compare apples to apples. Their 60 was $226, and then you see the overage cost, for the 48,000 and 10,000. That's the projected 8 machines that we're looking at. Depending on a couple items, that may go to 9 or 10, but the price per machine would be the same. Hard Office Solutions, they had 2 proposals: a 45 per minute at $224.25 and a 55 per minute copy, $282.25 with their overages. And then MCM Business had one proposal, 50 per minute, $291.91 with their overages. The committee that looked at this would recommend the 50 per minute machine from Queen Business Systems at $188 a month per machine.
Was that based just on the machine, or did you add any extra?
That's the options that we outlined in the specifications. The one thing we backed out is the saddle stitcher, as they call it, or booklet stitcher, or stapler, that if you made a booklet, it staples in the middle and folds. We backed that out of those prices, because not all those machines had those capabilities. So comparing to apples, we backed those out.
What options did you add?
The bid specification had the options in it, but extra paper drawers, as we outlined, internal finishers, the staplers, the hole punch, items, being able to fax, 200 to 300 duplexing document feed, so.
How much was fax option?
Fax option,
I think we purchased faxes for just about every person within the courthouse. I'm just
$8 a month in the one bid,
$8 a month.
yeah, for MCM and for hard, it was $6.75. Most of the options are very close and similar in price. The difference is in the base cost of the machine. And $8.73 for MCM. The base cost of the machine for Queen City was $130. For MCM, depending on which one you were looking at, was $191 for the 45, and
What's the terminal lead?
48 months. And then
We're gonna pay out $500 for a fax machine.
what's that?
We're gonna pay out $500 over the terminal lead.
To be able to fax from the copy machine, yes.
Brian, how many fax machines we got to go out to the courthouse?
30, rough number.
We're talking how many machines?
The bid was for 8, but we may be looking at up to 10.
Can we rebid this without the fax machine, Dave?
You can just deduct it off.
We don't have to do it.
You don't have, yeah, you can just deduct that off, that's not a problem.
How many of these people need those free old phones?
Again, that's, you wouldn't have to have that, that's, three-hole punch was $6 a month. Let me get to the other ones. For Queen City, it was 6, for, there's $4 a month for Hart, for that, $4.50 a month for their other option, and for MCM, $5.17, so anywhere from $4 to $6, depending on the vendor. Again, that's an item you would not have to have. If you deduct that off, it'd be $6 from your low bid.
Can I add something? Is that, if we need to have add a fax machine to one of these copiers, it costs $1,000 for the unit.
Yeah.
For capabilities to be put in it later on.
I'm just trying to, you don't buy a fax machine for a couple $100, another $1,000, correct?
Now, if one, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you-
I'm trying to imagine how many people are gonna sit at their copier and actual fax versus going to their fax machine.
If you drop the fax and hole punch, that would bring it down another $14 a month from Queen City.
What do you think, Patty?
I have no problem dropping those.
I don't know how much, Gina, within the system, tell me, I don't know.
Most of the time, instead of faxing, I scan and attach it to an email.
How many scanners we got throughout the building?
In the hundreds.
I have a unit that does everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't do the hole punch stapling, but the fax is very convenient. Of course, that's the only fax we have. And we can, we have the capability of, if I'm not mistaken, in our printing, options, we can send it as a fax through that machine. these machines hold more documents at one time, you know, like more pages
Right.
versus a mobile or whatever, a set-alone type fax machine. And it's a lot faster. But that's my opinion. Just with using them.
Well, we'll make a motion, Patsy.
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
It'd be my recommendation, based on the discussion here today, is to proceed with Queen City, drop the fax option, drop the hole punch option. That 188 would be reduced by $14, so that would go to 176, 174.
Motion to proceed with your recommendation.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried.
Because I think those options would be limited value.
Item number 11, review, discuss, and consider observance of trick or treat Halloween.
I did have Ms. Sell make some numerous calls. If she's available, she may want to outline those. Ms. Sell, if you can hear us or step into the meeting room. But you have in your packet a copy of the order that was approved by the commission in 1993 that sets the trick or treat on the 31st from 6 to 7. And Jessica can go over, I think most cities in the county are still having or an activity observing, as well as most surrounding counties.
No one that the OEM director, Laura Pease, or myself spoke to is canceling trick or treats. The only modifications are if they're having a block party or special parties in addition to trick or treat, those have been canceled. Trick or treat is still on. Usually most counties or cities are for an hour and a half to 2 hours. They're just encouraging social distancing, don't touch candy bowls, don't touch doorbells, things of that nature. Non-counties commission wants to stay out of it. They believe that it's more of a city issue. However, no one that myself or Laura Pease talked to is canceling trick or treat at this time. That includes Clarksburg, that includes Bridgeport, that includes Mon County, that includes surrounding counties throughout the state. We haven't talked to nearly all of them, but as of yesterday, we did talk to between 15 and 20 counties and cities.
So if the commission desires to proceed with the activity, you don't need to take any action because that's set. Or if you want to modify anything, then it would take an action of the commission. Without any action, the county would be the 31st from 6 till 7, as it has been since 1993.
Any discussion, Patsy?
Yeah.
I guess we will continue to let it run as is and just encourage everybody to follow health guidelines and to observe everything that they can do to protect themselves from COVID. Moving on to item 12, review, discuss, consider citizen participation survey for community development block grant for food, housing, and utility programs.
I provided some, and we may have Marissa, if you could allow her to unmute herself, Marissa Rexroad with United Way. We're coordinating with United Way to
Good.
Marissa, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. We have a citizens participation plan. I laid a copy at your desk earlier, and then the assurances from the Community Development Block Grant, the overall application. But we have two public meetings. They're not meetings of the county commission. They don't need to be meetings of the county commission. But on October the 19th and 26th, I do believe, Marissa,
Yes.
at 10 a.m., the first meeting is a public input meeting where you have the public provide input of what the plan is, and Marissa can go over the details of the grant application of what the purpose is. It's for food banks, food programs, assistance with utilities and rent, but you get input for that. The second meeting is to finalize the grant application that's going to be presented to the commission for final approval on our 28th meeting. That's what the purpose of the 26th meeting would be. Marissa, if you would like to go over the details and outline anything that you have.
Sure. Thank you, Willie. So this is a grant that was passed in the CARES Act this spring. This is in response to COVID-19, and the eligible activities include things that would help us in the prevention of, preparation for, and response to coronavirus throughout the state. United Way is very interested in partnering with the County Commission to submit this grant application. And it's our hope that we can focus on the public services aspect of this program. The award ceiling for public services in this application is $250,000. And this funding can be utilized to help us to bolster some of our local food pantries who have seen, an increase in need as a result of coronavirus, as well as local meal delivery programs that serve vulnerable populations, folks like Bi-County Nutrition, other programs aimed at youth and seniors who are delivering meals to the home and have also seen an increase in need. And then also emergency payments in terms of utilities and rental payments that can keep folks in their homes who have been affected by the current economic conditions we see that have been spurred by COVID, and hopefully help us to stave off a sort of wave of eviction. So the grant application itself is due on October 30th at 5 p.m. The public hearings, as Willie stated, will be open to all. We invite folks to join us at that first meeting, and this is really designed to obtain the views and ideas of the community around these needs as we start to craft this application. The second meeting, it will really be a discussion about the proposed application that at that point we'll have a draft of and provide that to those who attend the meeting and gather input. And then we would submit this grant at the end of October. We see this as a really good opportunity for the county and for us as United Way to work together to bolster some of the social service agencies that have seen an increase in need. And the best thing about this community development block grant is that the waive for, or the match for, the match requirement has been waived. So the county would not have to, provide a sort of 50% match, which is typical for community development block grants. And then the public services cap, which is usually about 15%, has also been waived.
All right. Any questions from the commission at this point? It really requires no action other than adoption of the outline of the citizens participation plan, realizing we have the meetings on the 19th and 26th. Final action from the commission for the grant application itself will be at our 28th meeting.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for that effect?
Move forward as outlined. All right. Marissa, anything else we need for today?
I don't think so. If it's okay with you all, we'll leave this citizen participation plan open for public comment for 5 days if folks want to submit those comments to United Way or to the county. And we will keep all of those things in mind as we move forward and adjust as needed.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Our commissioner comments?
Oh, one thing, sir. I mentioned to Willie possibly having our next testing at
is on location. Salem has expressed, interest, and, maybe because the armory where they asked that it be done, then sits on literally on our two lines, and, as you can hear, maybe we could work with their health department to do
Yeah.
something good for both counties.
I did talk to Laura Pease, our OEM director, and she has been in contact with Mr. Davis, the city manager, in time to coordinate that activity.
That'd be cool, thanks. That's all I have.
Is Laura on the,
Laura, are you there?
or she doing? Okay, thank you. I know that, there's been a lot of testing going on in the last couple of weeks, and, she's been doing an excellent job along with the health department getting all that settled. My only other is, back on the playground for a second. I think Mr. Parker has some info, if he could distribute that to Mr. Treecost and myself, so we can have that.
We will get you a copy of that
For the
before,
next meeting.
yes.
And, my only comment to that is that I think one of the places that if the other commissioners would consider somewhere over in the, out, get this right. Blank here. Where's our,
Summit Park?
no, not Summit Park. Quiet Dell.
Oh, okay.
I think we haven't really done much over in that part of the county. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. But there's no real playground over there for citizens in the county over in that area. So, if we could consider that, I would appreciate it. I think that's it. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
We have a couple items just to give to the commission for information purposes before you get out of here today.
We've got some things that we can cover.
If you have a few minutes after the meeting.
Hey, Bryce, do you think that's already installed?
What's
Can I
that?
get the face cards on the clean
Yeah,
copier?